son. The day you were born, the very forests of Lordaeron whispered the name Arthas.
So hello and welcome back to a new and hopefully exciting area to explore. We are going to be exploring Northrend, and that's a tall order. I'm not sure that we can explore everything in Northrend and do it proper justice, but you know what? We're going to at least give it a good old try. So as you can see, Beryl is dressed a little bit more for the cold. After all, Northrend is a little bit on the chilly side, being the land of cold and snow. It's also the land where, at least when you arrive, and provided they don't do a world update, the Lich King rules, because that is just the way it is. Now, the Alliance side has some gorgeous inns, of which the Valiant Rest is just one of them. And again, I feel like the Alliance got the stronger end of the decorating stick here. When we go in with Onyx, you'll see the Horde side, well, very, very nice, is just not quite as amazingly well decorated as the Alliance side. I feel like there was probably definitely a bias, either that or I just like the Alliance decorations more. I also like these cute little thematic candles with their green flames. But here at the Valiant Rest, you can stay in one of these lovely bunk beds, and you even have a absolutely wonderful little place to sit and have tea and breakfast with Larissa, who just happens to be the sister of the Death Knight Thalracian. She's looking for her brother and hoping to get together with him, and you can help her on that quest. It doesn't have the happiest ending, but you can help her on that quest. Also, if you're watching this and it is still Halloween time, you can also go trick-or-treating here at the Valiant Rest. Now, as we go along, you'll see there's a lot of civilian recruits. They are all waiting to sign up with the Alliance army so that they can fight the Lich King. You know, they are all here to help. And out here, they're all down just practicing, trying their best, learning how to be soldiers. I'm not sure that they know exactly what they're signing up for, but maybe they do. Because here in Valiant's Keep, we do have a few little problems, and one of them is if you go to the bottom of this boat, you will see that Valiant's Keep has been sort of infested with the Cult of the Damned. Never a good thing. Don't worry though, you can help clean them out if you are questing in Valiant's Keep. And you can also, since this is the first place a lot of people, in fact, Borean Tundra was the first place that I set foot into the Northrend lands, it is where you can also learn all of your skills. I think this might have been the first time Blizzard decided to put all of the trainers for your various professions in one location, rather than having to run all over creation to get to them, which I greatly appreciated. Unfortunately, they decided not to do that again by the time Pandaria came to be, but, you know, you can't win them all the time. You also have the stable back here, where if you are a hunter, you can stable your excess pets. And something I did not know about until today, actually, is not everyone, but most of the cannons that are here in Valiant's Keep, you can fire. They don't do much. They just make a little bit of a noise, and supposedly a few of them have a little smoke animation, but I just thought that was incredibly cool and something I never knew. So here we are at the town of Farshire. Human populations and naming everything a shire, man. Now, the cool thing about Farshire is they have this very, very, very neat little, I guess, church slash keep area. And it's at least not overrun with ghouls, so if you need a nice little place to hang out and have as just your perfect office, and sometimes even find a treasure chest, you can totally do that. Hey, look at that. I got Milan's Mastercraft Band. I'm just collecting rings left, right, and sideways, aren't I? And it also had a gemstone. Now, you do need to do this for the quest. You have to climb all the way to the top of that tower and ring the bell to let the townspeople know it is time to rise up and attack against all of these plague scavengers. You also have a lot of quests down here in the Farshire mine. Just kind of taking out some of the old Farshire keep people who maybe, I think they might have eaten some plagued grain. Yep, that looks like plagued grain. Arthas finds one thing that he likes and definitely sticks to it. So that's Farshire. You have a lot of quests here. It's a fun little questing zone. Also, the Borean Tundra is the first place where you will run into the Tuskarr, which, if you're playing Dragonflight, play a very large part. But this was the first time you really got to see them, and it was kind of awesome. This is also the home of Dita. Dita, which is the Druid Expedition. It's basically PETA. It is WoW's version of PETA. They have decided that Hemet Nessingwary is the devil, and you need to help by taking out all of Hemet Nessingwary's poachers. It is also very, very dangerous to approach any of Dita if you have even accidentally killed an animal that is attacking you, because they will turn hostile against you. I learned that much to my chagrin back in the day. This is also where you can do some dailies to get your Kalawak expedition, or not expedition, but the Kalawak, the Tuskarr reputation, which you need if you want to get a very cool fishing pole and a couple other little transmogs. You can come here every day, you can help them out. Very, very easy. You just have to kill some of these Kavadar raiders, and you also have to collect up some supplies. Now, you can't do this until you have actually done their little bit of opening quests, where you come over here and you kill Hagar the Horrible. He should be right over here somewhere. Oh, Hagar, are you around? Probably not, because I've probably already killed him. But you kill old Hagar the Horrible. You swim down. You find the Tuskarr's defender's corpse. You do a few other quests, and then you can join the Tuskarr in their never-ending fight against the Vrukal. Now, all over, you will find these big Tuskarr heads, and that kind of usually tells you that you will have some quests that you can probably do in this area. Now, the other cool thing, and you can see it coming up here, and you will also see it if you are playing in Dragonflight, are the cool little turtles. They are chasing a carrot on a stick, and they were a very good free way to get around, at least through the coastline of Northrend, back before you got flight very easily. You would just hop on this boat. It took a while, but it was a reliable flight, and it was a reliable boat ride, and it was free. This is the Tuskarr village. You can come over here and quest with them. You can get flights with them. And I don't know that a quartermaster for them is available in this area, but there is a quartermaster at Molokai Harbor, which is over in Dragonblight. I do like the Tuskarr. They're kind of awesome. I like them even more now in Dragonflight, because now we get to see Tuskarr women and children, which is just amazing. This is Death's Stand. Now, obviously, Thracian is not here. He's actually in the Zuggernaut, which is right up here. I think he is fighting in the Zuggernaut, the Wailing Zuggernaut. That I probably messed up the way to say it. Would not surprise me. There was a fleeing cultist going from there. Alright. Oh, yep, there he is. It is Thracian. Now, if you remember, you also helped him out back in Classic up in the Eastern Plaguelands. So it's always good to see a returning character. If you're a hunter, or if you are just out for the achievement, this is also here in Transboria, where you will sometimes see the Wandering Rare Icehorn, who is a tameable, ghostly, icy rhino. And I've never actually gotten him on any of my hunters, and it makes me very sad. No matter how many times I've looked for him, I haven't actually gotten him as a hunter pet. Let me know in the comments below if you ever managed to get him. Anyway, we are up here in Transboria and heading into the Temple City of Enki-La. The Temple City of Enki-La is a scourge fortress far in the northeast of the Borean Tundra and south of the crashed necropolis of Talramis. It is a plagued Nerubian city, a place of decay and darkness, and a lot of quests that I do remember were a giant pain in my rear end back when I did them in the days before flight, but still a very, very cool looking, if not cool to get around, place. You gotta appreciate that whole Scourge aesthetic of skulls everywhere. Just outside of the temple are the Dens of Dying, where the Magnetar, which are like Centaur on steroids with tusks, go as old age takes them and die. It's kind of depressing, but at the same time, considering they attack you on sight, it's not really all that depressing. And you have yet another very cute little gnomish town. I think this was the second gnomish town I had ever seen, and I remember back when I first was going through Northrend being so incredibly charmed by the tiny little beds upstairs. They're very, very cute. Every time I come into a gnome area, I'm like, look at these teeny tiny beds. They're very, I don't know. Gnomes amuse me. Now we're gonna do one more thing with Beryl before we turn this over to Onyx to kind of run around the horde spots and the other areas that we haven't been to yet. And that is, you might not know, I'm sure a lot of people who've been playing WoW for a long time know, but you might not know that there is a absolutely unique battle pet that you can get in the Borean Tundra. You can only get one per account, and it's Terky. He is a Murloc who wears no armor and no costume. He is very, very cute. I will pull him out and show him to you once we get landed over here. and then I will show you where to find him. He's not the easiest pet to get, but that's only in finding him. Getting him is actually quite easy. So let me pull him out. Alright, so this is Terky. He is very, very cute. He is a pure white with red highlights Murloc. And everybody who has a WoW account can get him. You just have to find him. He's extremely cute, like every other Murloc pet that you can get. They're very, very cute. So, to find Terky, you need to go out just past the Riplash ruins, and that is where we're headed right now. Alright, I am not gonna lie, this was a larger pain in the rear than I remember. What you need to do, let me show you where I am on the map here, is you come right here to just at the little pointy part at the end of the Riplash ruins. Right here at Riplash ruins, let me fly up and show you really quick where exactly we are. We are right here at the end of this giant building. Alright, so you can see the shore right there. There is Valiant's Keep. And we are right at the edge of the giant building at Riplash ruins. Now we're going to jump into the water here, and hopefully I don't get lost, because that would make me feel really, really dumb. But you're going to swim down. You're going to see these cool little corals and this nice seaweed, and then you'll see some more coral. Swim towards it. This cave gets very, very narrow, and it's going to seem like it dead ends. When you hit the dead end, it's time to start swimming up. Now you're going to swim up a very long way. Don't worry, you won't run out of breath. And you're going to be in this cave. When you find this cave, run all the way back here. This is not the egg that you get, alright? If you've never looted Terky before, you will find his egg right here. You'll get a little cogwheel on it. You can open it up and you will receive a white Murloc toy. As you can see, I can't open it because I've already got him. But there he is. That is Terky. And as I said before, he is a very, very cute little pet. We will summon him again because he's adorable. And there he is. You can only get one per account. I mean, you can come and try to loot the egg as many times as you want, but you can only get one per account, and he is never for sale on the auction house because he's a unique pet. So there we go. Hopefully you figured out by watching me how to get to this cave, but just in case, we're going to go back out. There we go. Going back down with our little Terky just following us. And like I said before, when you get here, don't do what I did, and thankfully didn't make you guys sit through, which was swim all the way to the bottom, although you do see some really cool stuff at the bottom, and I did find a few cracks at the very bottom of the sea to allow me to breathe, which was kind of nice. But no, don't swim all the way to the bottom. Swim directly out from Valiant's Keep. Look for these big red corals over here by the tall seaweed, and then swim behind. Find the crack with a few more purple corals on the wall, and you have yourself a Terky pet. It seems like a lot to go through just to get a new pet, but you know what? I do a lot of things for new pets. So now we're going to turn everything over to Onyx so she can show you Warsong Hold, the Caldera, and the area that leads kind of to Sholazar Basin, which is where we're going to be going next week. So I'm going to turn everything over to Onyx now. We'll start our journey through the Horde side of the Borean Tundra. Here at the Tanuka village. The Tanuka are a really interesting race. They're also known as the Winter Tauren, and they're an ancient offshoot of the Yangol that you get to meet in Pandaria. And they're relatives to the Tauren, but they resemble much more bison than the Tauren do. And they are very adapted for life here in the cold and frosty north. They were a really interesting race. I was always really fascinated by them back in the Wrath of the Lich King expansion. So we're going to leave the Tanuka village and we are going to keep on keeping on. Now up here on the Amber Ledge, you can do some questing for the Kirin Tor. And honestly, this is possibly one of the darker quest lines that you can do in World of Warcraft, because you actually capture and then torture a prisoner in this quest line. Kinda creepy. Not something that you see too often in WoW these days, but WoW was a slightly darker place back in the day. Now, King Murgle is actually a night elf in disguise. He shows up again in Legion, and you can see the big old zipper on his back for his Murloc outfit. But, yeah, this is a fun quest chain. If you've never done it before, it is absolutely, honestly, a delight. We're going to move on now over here to the Nexus, which is not one of my favorite dungeons, but it is an interesting place. And it is where the Blue Dragon Flight will be fought. There is a little tiny area right over here that you get all of your quests. It's a nice little outpost. It is under a dome because they don't want to be attacked by all the blue dragons. And that is at the Transitus Shield. Wow, I can speak really well. Anyway, it's a nice little place. I mean, you know, they have big old beds set up in their tiny little tents. You gotta love that. And there's a whole lot of quests, and there's a raid, and there's a dungeon over here. There's also, if I can find them, a group of painters that are painting beautiful pictures up here. And there they are. It's these little random things, honestly, in World of Warcraft that make me the happiest ever. I remember flying over and just being like, why are these people all over here just painting? You've got
the eternal sun,
a blood elf.
us.
What's she working on here? Looks like swirls. Looks like everybody's swirling. And you have Kenai Griffin. He is an art teacher. He says, welcome to Sketch Group. Grab an easel. Get comfortable. No judgments here. Unless you're a paladin, of course. Today, we're studying the Nexus. Such beauty, such chaos, so much blue. I don't know. It's, like I said, it's the silly things in World of Warcraft that just make me happy.
You have the eyes of one who has traveled much.
And it's little things like this that keep me coming back and playing WoW all the time. Alright, last place we're going to go is we are going to go over here and visit Warsong Hold. I'm probably missing so many interesting things, but you know, the Borean Tundra is big, and I'm going to miss stuff. But here we have the Horde equivalent of the Valiant's Keep. It is the first place a lot of Horde players came. They have their own struggles, they have their own issues, and it's probably my Alliance bias showing, but I feel like Valiant's Keep is laid out a little bit better than Warsong Hold, but that could also be because I didn't spend as much time here. But here is the Horde version of the inn. And then out behind, we've got all of the various trainers again. So, you know, you can get all your training done. You can get everything done. You can even come over here and talk to High Overlord Sourfang and Garrosh Hellscream. They're here at this giant map of Northrend. Gotta love that. Showing the disposition of all of the forces. This is also a good place to accidentally have your character die because of the giant elevator that I have fallen off of more than once. I don't remember if this giant elevator actually also can smush you. I do know that there are a few of them that can in World of Warcraft. I can't remember if this is one that does. But I do remember on a couple different Horde players absolutely missing this elevator and falling to the ground and dying. Nope, you just phase through it. Well, that's always good to know. But that's Warsong Hold. Next week we will be heading on over to Sholazar Basin, which is another fun area that we can investigate. A little bit more tropical. Beryl and Onyx might get a little bit overheated there because it's a lot more tropical than the Borean Tundra, but you know what? I think we'll keep our winter gear on because we're going to be up here in Northrend for at least a couple of weeks. So from me and Beryl and Onyx, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Say goodbye, Onyx.
You shall be king.